So we're at the park today. We're going to be practicing some focus work and some recall work using a long lead. Just like with the trail, but a different environment. So that was good. We hit the end of the lead, came back in. I'm going to go ahead and let him get a little bit distracted and explore. Then we'll start warming up. So while you're working with him, it's going to be really important that you pay attention to what you're working with him on, whether it's the name, whether it's the leash pressure, good boy, whether he's actually coming back on his own after he feels things or just naturally checks back in for a reward. Boy. So now we have freeze-dried chicken. This time it's just a little bit more portable. Good boy. But that's all it is still just chicken. So, good boy. There you go. Very good. So that time, we didn't call his name. There was no leash pressure. Good boy. He just checked back in on us, came back to the heel. I'm going to go ahead and reward that and then release him again. Good boy. If he wants to hang out with me, he can for more treats every few steps or so. Good boy. So we always want to at least mark and praise that, right, behavior, especially since he's now doing all of the work by paying attention and focusing. So there he hit the leash pressure. And again. And now he's checking back in. Good boy. Alright? Boy. So all I'm doing right now is just promoting good positive behavior with him that we like to reinforce. Good boy. So now I'm adding in some leash pressure and directional changes so he catches up behind me. Touch. Up here. Good boy. Letting him heel and walk with me for a little bit. Yes. And then giving him a reward. Good boy. Okay, free. And then letting him go and do whatever again. Because part of it is just like, oh, good boy, good job. Part of it is we want him to get distracted, right? We want him to check out other people and other smells. But yes, good boy. The important thing after that is that he just checks in and comes back to us. Good boy. And all I'm doing to help him maintain focus is just keeping him in that heel for a little bit while longer, right? Before giving him a reward. Good boy. With me? Good boy. Very good. And if we wanted to, we could still practice things like his name or the leash pressure like what we did with the other rounds. So I'm going to wait for him to get distracted. Good boy. Kobi. Yes. Good boy. So we're going to use the leash pressure and turn around. Good boy. It's a little awkward because I'm trying to film him too, but eventually you want him to kind of just come back to the heel position here. Good boy. Now I'm going to wait for him to get distracted or overshoot, and then I'm going to either use his name or the leash pressure to get his attention back. Kobi. Yes. Heel. Good. Down. Good boy. There you go. Good job. Right. And that was really good, even though it didn't seem like much in a really distracting new environment like this because he hasn't been here before. Being able to have him hold his attention on you for that amount of time or any amount of time is a good accomplishment. And it's just something that you just build upon. All right, so he's hitting the end of the lead. I'm just going to go ahead and change direction. Good boy. Good job. And that just helps with naturally recalling him back in so you can catch up to us. Good boy. Up here. Good. Good boy. Good job. Good boy. Good job. All right, free. Later on, too, to help him continue to maintain focus, right after you give him a treat, you can get his attention back right away before he checks out or change direction and then do the exercise again, right? And then afterwards, you can string along 2 or 3 times when he has to pay attention and follow you, and then he gets a reward. You just kind of build from there, right? You go from pieces, like it's just a few steps, of following you and paying attention to doing it more so the other way around. Just eating the other treat the pup dropped earlier. Good job. Good boy. With me? Yes, very good. Down. Good boy. Down. Good boy. Down. Good. Up. Yes. Down. Okay, we're just practicing down now too. Okay, I'm not pulling him down, I'm not kicking him away or anything. He's getting down back on his own and learning to settle and stay settled for the treat or reward, right? We're just kind of withholding what he wants until he behaves the proper way by not jumping. Good boy. Good job. He's had a distraction there with a person. Good boy. Wait. Another distraction there. And then we have a car coming, so we're going to get ready to lock the lead if we need to. Good boy. Good sit. Good boy. Good job. Kobi. Good boy. And one of the reasons why we're concentrating so much on recall is because it's one of those things that needs the most practice in different environments to get him conditioned to checking in and working through, and also because it helps with every one of his other behavioral issues that we're trying to work on. You know, if he's about to go and pee on a sofa or something like that, or mark on a sofa, and we say his name, Kobi, go ahead and use leash pressure here too to get him out of the nose. Good boy. Try again. Kobi. Good boy. Right? So that way he redirects back to us. We take him outside or towards the door. We ask him to sit. Good paw. Good boy. And then we take him outside again. Inside it'll actually be easier because out here, you said the reason why we are here is to get him to learn to listen through all those distractions. And right now the only distractions is just a few people, but mostly all the smells around him in this new environment. And so he's not going to be perfect until we get, good boy, until we get some more good practice in. And that's another reason why you want him to kind of be out and about with you, is so that way he can get desensitized and used to different environments, you know, whether it's by a school with lots of kids running and playing, or a playground, or don't want him to lick that, so we're going to use some leash pressure and keep going. Or you got some pups here on the trail, you had some dogs and some runners. Out on a farm you might have all the livestock, horses, pigs, goats, things like that. And then in a downtown area, you'll have all the cars and all the noises and people, all the smells of the different foods. Good boy. There we go. So that was really good. He was paying attention to those little pups there. He hit the end of the leash and came back on his own. Same thing here. We're going to go ahead and initiate leash pressure so he gets away from people coming out of the car. Boy. Okay. Good. So, counter surfing is going to be another one, right? So, to get him to leave something, we have to get his attention. And then also, we want to add in recall anyways, because if we get his attention and we ask him to leave something, but he's right next to it, he's much more likely to rebound back into it anyways, and you kind of get stuck trying to get his attention again. Whereas if we have a good recall practice in, once we get his attention and we ask him to come back and leave it, when he's further away, it'll be easier to just go around that item or keep him from the countertop. And we're going to do some more practice with that and some food later on. That's why we're out here right now, just kind of warming up with new smells in a different environment. Here. And here, right, when he is hard stuck on something, I'm just going to keep walking and applying constant leash pressure, and then as soon as he breaks off of it, I let go of that leash pressure. Good boy, right? So there's pressure on when we need him to refocus and to catch up, and then pressure off when he's doing the right thing and following us or paying attention. Good boy. Okay. Pressure on, because I don't want him to go behind me. There we go. And pressure off. Good boy. Good job. Yeah, you're doing so good. Later this afternoon, thankfully it's not raining today, so we can catch up on some video work. Yesterday we just practiced indoors, which is good too. It's a lot easier to kind of get the repetition in without as many distractions. So we got a good base down for the leave it, but this will give us a good opportunity to kind of set up some more real world scenarios and some practices of him being tempted by things, good boy, and then learning to redirect on his own. Or what's going to happen is we're going to need to help him first, and then once he understands that he has to leave something, I'm going to try to walk by it and then give him praise for when he does it without needing assistance. But like with any kind of training, he's going to need a little bit of hand holding at first while we guide him through it, but eventually we want him to do as much of it all on his own as possible. But especially with puppies, you're going to have to kind of micromanage many of the leave it situations, especially since he has a more sensitive stomach. We want him to really not be presented in those situations to fail while he's still practicing. Right? So here, good boy. Whenever he starts to pull through pressure, I just apply more by walking the opposite way. So that way he can't just ignore and keep trying to get to whatever he wants. Conversely, you could also just use the leash as a boundary and then use his name to get his attention back. Good boy. So here, good boy. Yes. With me. Wait. With me. Wait. With me. Wait. Yes. Good. Good. Trying to practice his self-control there with his jumping. You can see when he wants something and he gets anxious for it and loses patience, he starts to want to try to jump. And so if we've already kind of warmed him up with him sitting down or waiting, staying low, then it's easy to interrupt that and just paying close attention to when he's about to jump to give him that down or off command. It's going to be really important when he wants to jump that he controls himself. Good boy. Good boy. Touch. Yes, there you go. Good job. Kobi. Good boy. We're just going to be hanging out for a little bit while longer at the park, working through some distractions and warming up. And then we'll go back, give him a little bit of a break, and we'll record his leave it session for his parents. Gotta be very careful and attentive when you're out in public places because you don't know what could be on the ground. Leash pressure. Good boy. Hey, listen. Good boy. Touch. Yes. All right. It is starting to rain, so hopefully the weather will hold out for us. I'm gonna practice some leave it with some food now that we've been doing recall and everything else. And the main principle with leave it is going to be redirecting their focus and getting them to come back to you. Okay? The reason why you want to redirect their focus from whatever it is that they're interested in, right, is that if they're refocused on us, then we're able to give them guidance, we're able to give them commands. But if they're just focused on whatever they'd like, then more likely than not, they're just going to ignore us, and any commands given will just fall to the wayside. Okay, and the reason why we want to add recall into the leave it is because if we ask them to leave something and they're right next to it, chances are they're going to be very tempted to, especially at first, to just go right back to it, and you're just going to be ping-ponging. Whereas if we ask them to leave it and then we integrate recall into that, then they'll be pulling themselves further away from what it was that they were interested in the first place, and then closer to us while maintaining focus on us to really help with the obedience side of it, right? So first thing to start, we're gonna have this chicken treat that he's gonna want, right? And when I ask him to leave it, I want him to take his focus off of the treat and back onto me, right? And we can also add in his name to help with that as well. They can if you want. I was just in the middle of it. We can do it if you... Good boy, thank you. Alright, just like when he's redirecting from your girlfriend wanted the pups to play, just like when redirecting from people and other pups, the same thing, but we're redirecting from his treats. Give him a second here, see if he needs to use the bathroom. No? Okay. So first things first, and where a lot of people do a really good job at, is having their pups sit and wait for food, right? That's going to be really good because it develops that impulse control as well as that focus work. Wait. Sit. Come. Both of which you can tell he definitely needs some work on. Sit. Stay. Sit. Come. Sit. Stay. Leave it. Okay. Good. That was good because he checked out. So once again, we're going to help him out. We're going to hold this here. This will be easier with a cameraman, but that's okay. We'll practice more tomorrow with his parents. That way it'll be a lot easier to see what's going on in the recording, right? But all I'm going to do while he's distracted is just put the treat down. Leave it. And I'm going to move him away from it. Okay? He's going to check out. And we're just going to walk by. This is the same kind of situation as if you were downtown or at a park. You want to be the one, especially at first, because he's learning to leave stuff alone and not put everything in his mouth because he's a puppy and he's a baby. It's going to be the owner's responsibility, the handler's responsibility to set him up for success and to be paying attention, right? So this is very easy to see. We have a bowl of food coming up ahead, and I want to see, good boy, yes. Right, so response to the leash pressure is good. It's a treat. Boy, refocus. Now we want to do that though without the leash. We have the leash as a safety line, but we want him to listen and refocus to us like he does with a recall on the verbal command. So if he needs to use the bathroom, good boy. Oh, good boy, good potty. Good boy. All right, so now I'm going to be paying attention to when his attention or focus gets on the bowl. Good. Gets back onto us with leash pressure. Good. And so, as you can see, when he gets close to it, he's going to start to fixate and move faster towards it. So in the beginning, when we want to practice leave it, we need to be really preemptive. Same with his jumping behavior and not wanting him to jump. We want to see what his attention is on, what his focus is on, what his energy level and excitement is like, right? He's going to probably be more excited for a piece of pizza that's on the ground than maybe a fruit or vegetable or something that's old. And we want to be taking that into consideration, because it's gonna let us know that, the more excited that he is to get to something, the earlier we're gonna have to be to redirect him, right? Because if we redirect him too late and he's really close to something that he wants, that's when most pups will fail. Good boy. He's doing a good job focusing. Okay. Getting closer to it. Watching him. Yes. Good boy. Good. Good boy. All right. I want him to focus back up on me. Good. Wait. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Good. So you can see what I mean by, if you have him leave it, good boy, and he's right next to it, you're going to have to be doing that a couple of times. But if he recalls back to you after you ask him to leave it, right, it's a lot easier for him for developing his self-control. Okay, so once again, we'll move towards it. A little distracted here. Good boy. And as we get closer, I'm going to pay attention to what he's focused on. Leave it. Leave it. Good boy. This way. Yes, good. So there, when I gave him that negative or that corrective sound of the no, when he looked at it, he looked right back at me, right? That's what we're going to associate with leave it. That negative connotation, right? He's interested in something, we say leave it, has that negative value. Leave it. Good boy, very good, right? And that's what we're looking for. We want him to take his interest off of whatever he had it on, put it back onto us, and then come to us for a reward. We want him to feel rewarded for listening to us, okay? It's going to be really important, because at first, when he's trying to decide whether or not he should listen to us or ignore us and get whatever he's interested in, we want to have both the leash, right, as that safety line, as well as a positive treat or influence, right, to give him something to look forward to for leaving something that he was interested in. So once again, oh, good boy. Stay. Stay. Good boy. Leave it. Let's try again. This leash was a little caught up on his legs that time. Good. Good boy. Very good. Wait. Wait. Good. And now, to reward him, I'll bring the treat over to him, right? So we want to teach him that if he wants something, he listens to us instead of just going out to get it. And that's how he gets what he wants. If he tries to get it, we're going to give him that negative command, that no, the nah, whatever it is, sound that you want to make to let him know that he's doing something wrong. And then we're going to want to reinforce it with the leash pressure, right? To let him know that that's not the way to go. Leave it. Good boy, come. Good job. Sit. Good job. We'll do it one more time, and with his parents we'll usually do a bunch of different heights, some obstacle course to go around, and he'll have different treats surrounding him. Right now it's just chicken because of his dietary restraint, but we want him to be able to be surrounded by things and still be able to, or surrounded by temptations and still be able to listen to us. Good boy. So that was really good too, because now I'm behind what he's interested in, whereas in the beginning it's a lot harder. I needed the leash and I needed to get in front of him to stop him, whereas now, good boy, he's learning that if he wants something he has to come back to me. Good boy. Sit. Stay. Leave it. Leave it. Oh, good boy. Stay. Good job. Good boy. Alright. Starting to rain a little bit, but I'm going to get in a couple more rounds of practice. I'm going to continue this inside, but just wanted a little bit of extra free space to record and to show his parents here that he can do it and he can listen. Kobi, leave it. Good boy. And we don't have to always pull him away from things. We want him to learn to pull himself away from things. Good job, big guy.